you for tuning in another episode of Command Beacon. This is the show where I invite friends over and we like to discuss the commander decks that they've been working on for a long period of time, why they love playing so much, and share their secret technologies, the backstories, the theory crafting behind the deck designing process, and perhaps share with you guys the advice and the lessons that they've picked up along the way. If this is the first time you are listening, then just sit back, relax, and I hope you guys have a good time. Now, real quick, this special episode is going to be a bonus. Instead of having a guest over, what I will be doing is actually give you guys a introduction, in-depth introduction on the current commander deck I have been playing. This is something that I have been messing around with for the last 3-4 years, and even to this day I'm having a blast every time I pick to play it. In hope to share my understanding and my perspective on EDH/Commander, but also I would like this episode to act as a stepping stone forward, so that when you hear our future content here on the channel, that you will have a better understanding at where I'm coming from when I evaluate certain cards or talk with different guests about their decks and share opinions about certain things. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive into it. So the commander I am currently playing is Maelstrom Wonder. For many of you, that should not be a strange card, but maybe for some who recently got into Magic, you may not be familiar with this card. It is an 8-drop 7/5 haste creature that also gives your entire team haste. Quite a powerful effect, but the power does not stop there. When you are casting Maelstrom Wonder, you get to cascade and then cascade it again. Being at 8 mana, the dream is of course cascade into a 7-drop and another 7-drop and have potentially incredible game-ending power on the board right away. Now, this is an episode about me sharing my thoughts, not only on the deck I'm playing, on the design process of it, but also this is an episode where I want to focus around a topic about finding your own edge at your playgroup. Something that will hone the sharpness of your skills as well as your play style. Now for me, and my Maelstrom Wonder, that edge is taking advantage of the explosive ramp Magic the Gathering offers in Commander variety, and really kind of take the stage to a next level and confront your opponents, all your friends, at a stage that they cannot possibly to compete the limit of resource with you. So out-resourcing your opponent is a big part about Maelstrom. Now, this is inherently my way of dealing with the downsides of Maelstrom. Now, when you look at this card, you think, wow, this card is so powerful, there is no possible downside. Well, there is one, and the downside is the mana cost. Having 3 different color, red, blue, and green, as well as 5 colorless mana on a card makes it somewhat hard to cast. However, in the early drafts of Maelstrom, the deck was designed to be able to cast them off of turn 1. While this have happened, it certainly does not happen nearly as common as I would like. And as the ruling of Magic Commander changed over the years, the deck has slowly but surely progressed into something more stabilizing and being able to cast the Wonder on turn 2, turn 3, and turn 4. And at those turns, whatever you get out of Maelstrom is catastrophic. And let's talk about that for a second. Out-resourcing your opponent, being able to take the wheel and really be in control. What does that mean? Well, if you are playing this deck, or for example, let me invite you to a quick and fun kind of interactive exercise. Go ahead and think of your favorite commander, your baby deck, something that you really like to play, okay? Now, you have it. The next thing I want you to do is think of a juicy opening hand, something really good, something you just love to draw, something that you're hoping to mulligan into. And I'm gonna give you about maybe 5-7 minutes, 7 minutes, 5 to 7 seconds. Well, I take a sip of water here. Okay, I assume you have it. Now let's play a imaginative goldfish, kind of a 1v1 goldfish kind of testing opening hand. So I will go first. I will open with a fetch land into a shock or into original duel in this case. And I will play my mana crypt. At this point I ask you, do you have a Force of Will that you can use to counter the crypt? If the answer is yes, okay. Well, I will rest my case for the time being and go to turn 2. But if you do not have a Force of Will in hand, and it's not something that you're hoping to see usually in the turn 1 or turn 2, then my crypt is gonna resolve. What I'm gonna proceed to do is actually really degenerated. I'm going to proceed and play my Plethora of Mana Rocks or Mana Ramp spells, you know, the staple K-Reach, Kadama, K-Reach and Cultivate, or I can play the variety of combinations between Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Correlation Relic, all that juicy stuff. Or, worse yet, let me go ahead and just cast Wheel of Fortune or Windfall. Now your hand is gone. At this point, we're on turn 1, at the very first, not turn 1, the very first turn of the game, and I potentially have already won. What if you didn't draw a single land of your 7 cards, and you didn't peel off a land on top? Chances are, my hand has another ramp spell, Wonder comes down in 2 turns, by then it's game over. You see how through this quick exercise, even though nothing is exactly precise, my hope for you is that I allowed myself to explain. Even though the game can just start just now, you can already level the playfield in such a height to the point where you can close out the game by the first turn, or the second turn for that matter, according to the same principle. Your opponent, on the very first turn of Magic the Gathering actually, it is very difficult to break the 1 mana symmetry, or the law of the 1 mana. This is the one reason why Vintage is so powerful, or even the older formats in general is more powerful. The decks that build to take advantage to be able to play multiple things on the first turn, whether they have the mana or they take advantage of mechanic to play cards without using the mana, essentially what they're doing is they are taking the power of a mid-game into the first turn. And that's the turn when every single player in the game is the weakest. If you do not have a Force Well, like in the exercise, and your opponent played a couple spells, chances are you're out of the game. Okay? So this is something that I would like to invite every listener out there to just kind of think about. What place do you have on the first turn? Are they creatures? Are they mana rocks? Are they counter spells? And which one of the 3, given the equal chance, which one of the 3 types of the cards that I just mentioned would you actually like to have in your opening hand and why? And think about that, because according to your play scale, the more you think about questions like this, the more you take advantage of other players at their weakest point, the stronger your decks are going to be, and the better game result you will get. Maybe not from single game, but over the course of 5 to 10 to 20 to 40 games, you will notice the difference. Your friends will notice the difference. And that's how you find the edge. You find the point you would like to work on and consistently brush up your skill. Think about the theory crafting, think about the designing behind your decks, think about how you truly want to take advantage of it, and do it. And that's the best way to really progress in terms of skill in EDH, as far as I am concerned. I do apologize for saying EDH. I understand Commander is a more common term. It's just that sometimes I don't do the switch very well. So now, next, we talked about playing the game at a very, very unfair kind of level, in that you are explosive ramping right away in the beginning. You are hitting hard at a spot where your opponent is hard to react to. That's important. Now, exactly, you may ask Jensen, exactly how do you plan to achieve this with your 100 card slot? Well, let me briefly talk about my deck. My deck has 30 lands, and among the 30 lands, 9 of which are fetch lands. So essentially, I'm only running a 21 land card deck. This is a lower number than most of the standard 60 card decks general land count, which is 24. And for EDH, usually people will suggest you run somewhere around 36 lands. Now, the number doesn't matter. In my opinion, the less lands you run, the more powerful spell you have access to. The more mana rocks you can play to replace the slots where you would normally put in lands. This is significant because every single game you are drawing less lands, playing more spells, and as a result, your board state is much more powerful than your friends, and that makes a significant difference. I have seen videos and talked with people who believe that running fetch lands in EDH is a waste of time. The argument is, okay, you're drawing one card this game. Did that really help? You probably drew into a land. No big deal. You lost one life. Everything is... You fix your mana, but you didn't really progress. And I would like to strongly disagree, very respectively. The way I look at it is this. I'm running 9 fetch lands. On an average game, I crack about 3. That is 3 less land I'm drawing in one particular game. Now, I don't play Commander that often these days, but every week I usually get about 5 games in. Throughout the course of a year, I play over 50 games, right? Now, if I'm drawing 3 less lands per game, that's 150 cards that I'm drawing less. And I've played Wonder for 3+ years, so 450 less lands is 450 more spells. And that is a significant difference. It may not be winning draw for every single game that I play, but I will guarantee you, more than half the games, it made a difference. But here is something that I would like to take further. Now, fetch lands is only one small thing for you to hone, to kind of like, for me at least, to further my edge in my local meta / play group with different friends. On average, we have already established that I draw 3 less lands from my land base. Okay? Now, that does not exclude cards drawn from other sources, whether it's a sort of enchantment land fetch, instant sorcery land fetch, creature land fetch, planeswalkers land fetch, so on and so forth. Now, if you include everything, in a general game of Commander, I roughly ramp out anywhere between 6 to 12 lands. This is, of course, skipping out the 1 land per turn rule. And that's significant. That's more than 10% of any Commander decks, meaning I'm drawing 10 more spells every game. And being able to filter through your deck at such a fast pace, constantly shuffling through it, constantly getting a refreshed perspective of it feels great. It makes you more active in any given game, make you have more control. It makes you sharp your edge even further. Now, we talked about mana ramp, right? Whether it's mana ramp through land fetching or rocks, right? That gives you a lot of mana. In my case with Maelstrom, having the mana is important. The next question you might have for me is, Jensen, with all of these mana rocks and mana ramps that you're playing, don't you run out of cards fairly fast, even though you are replacing your hands with lands and you're drawing less land? But I mean, you're still gonna run out of your hands, right? You're still gonna run out of cards. You're absolutely correct. What I tend to do to make up for that is running absurd drawing spells. What I mean absurd? In my playtesting experience, any single card that allows you to draw 3 or more cards is playable, regardless of mana cost, okay? Just take a leap of faith with me on this one. Anything. Doesn't matter the mana cost, if it make you draw 3, it fits somewhere in the most basic budget commander deck. If the mana cost is anywhere decent or is efficient, then it is fantastic inclusion for any deck that runs the color. Take my words for it and just kind of replace the card draws in your deck, maybe not all of them, but a couple of them with draw 3, okay? What are some of the cards I would recommend? Well, Sylvan Library right off the top is fantastic, right? I'm running stuff like Windfall, Wheel of Fortune. These are draw 7s for 3 mana. You may argue that the other side of them being conditional. Well, Wheel isn't conditional. The other one, the Windfall, is certainly conditional. However, time it right, you're definitely getting at least 3 cards every time you're casting this spell, right? There is Plea for Power from the Conspiracy. Fantastic card, okay? It doesn't matter if you're not getting that extra turn, and sometimes when you get the extra turn, you don't have a big hand. That part does not matter. What matters is, if you're taking an extra turn with 4 mana, you are stealing the show. If you're drawing 3 cards for 4 mana, you are paying exactly what you need to get whatever you need to win the game. The card is top notch, okay? On the same kind of thought train, stuff like Steam Augury, stuff like Fact or Fiction, these classic card draws are classic for a reason. Very, very, very good. Icon Stroke is genius as well. Not only is it a win con, it also draws you multiple cards at a relatively efficient cost. For this deck, you will be seeing the deck list, by the way, down underneath the video if you're interested in. You can see that I'm running creature draws as well. In my case, I'm running Mercury Chemist. This is a card that I discovered and I've loved ever since. With Maelstrom Wonder, I get to break a couple rules of Magic the Gathering, especially the part that creatures that needs to tap to do something relevant may not always be good. Not true in Wonder's case. Most of the time, when I'm having a creature, Wonder is out. When Wonder is out, I'm tapping whatever I need to do whatever I need to do. And in this case, Mercury Chemist sometimes draw me 2 cards, sometimes kills a Gadok Peak, sometimes take care of whatever situation need to be taken care of, sometimes, just acts as an MVP throughout the entire long 4-hour game and just carry me to victory. Alright, I understand I am off track a little bit. Back onto refreshing your card advantage. You have the mana, you have a lot of spells that draw you 3 cards now, okay? So, as the wheels start to click in your mind, you can see how this is a combo while playing the deck. We ramp, we run out of cards. We run out of cards, we draw cards. We draw cards, we play more spells, and we ramp more, we draw more, and we get to play bigger things. This is a critically accelerating wheel. Essentially, my goal is to use this wheel to get me to the point where the deck is accelerated enough, where the battlefield is just right for me to drop my Wonder. And in a regular game with me, you will see this consistently happen at a very early stage of the game, like we have already mentioned before. At this point of the game, Wonder comes down, usually close the game. Okay? Once again, the deck list is going to be down underneath the video. For those of you who are interested, I would love to hear some of your comments. Maybe some of you play Maelstrom Wonder, but a more creature variant instead of my variant. Or maybe some of you is more like me, who plays a lot of artifacts and a lot of instant sorcery and not much creatures. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And think about finding your edge, whatever that edge may be. I would love to hear your thoughts. Share it here. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me. If there are cards that you're unsure about what to play, maybe one over the other, go ahead and post in the comment section below. I would love to give my insight on it, as long as you prefer. So, Maelstrom Wonder. 10 out of 10 in my opinion. It's a very, very fun card. It may not be consistent, alright? It may not be the most reliable dude in all of Magic the Gathering, but it sure as hell is a fun card for you to play. And I'm never even upset if I get a Lotus Petal or a Lotus Petal and a Force of Will off the top, which have definitely happened. Yeah, also gotten Pack Negation and Force of Will off the top, and even then it's a fun time. You're never knowing exactly what you're gonna get, and that's not always a bad thing. Consistency is good, a surprise is also good. So that is it for today's episode, guys. This is a slightly short episode, but think of it as a bonus on the channel. The next video is actually coming out relatively soon, and I'm inviting my good friend Kevin over, and we'll be talking about his character deck. Something that he's put a lot of effort into building for the last 2+ years. And I think for those of you who enjoy taking advantage of graveyard play, who enjoys character style, the uniqueness, maybe Dredge in general, kind of commander play testing, play designing kind of thing, is really going to enjoy it. Kevin has a lot to offer for all of you. And yeah, please just looking forward to it. Once again, channel is very young, right? The content is going to be coming out at a rapid pace. However, I would like to improve a little bit more every single episode. So please, if there are things that you would like to see me improve on, or if you have any questions, throw a comment down there, let me know what's going on. Other than that, it would really help a lot if you smash that like button if you liked this episode, if you like me in general, or like our content on this channel. Also subscribe so that you can keep in touch with what is going on here at the Command Beacon. Once again, thank you very much for tuning into the episode today. I will see you in the near future. Keep on exploring.